Good morning, everyone. This is a level 2 vinyasa style alignment based yoga class. So let's get into it. You'll need 2 blocks, a blanket, and your mat. And please come on to your mat and just have a seat to start. Okay, so welcome. As you find a comfortable seat, roll your shoulders down your back, and you can just simply notice your breath. And as you drop into the practice, you can close down your eyes. The beauty is, in the very beginning, there is nothing to change. You can just welcome yourself. Allow yourself to find presence on the mat and accept where you are and just be. The breath that we'll move towards is Ujjayi Pranayama, so a constriction at the back of the throat. But as we begin in this level 2 practice, let it be gentle. So a soft Ujjayi Pranayama where you're exhaling through the nose. And you have a constriction at the back of the throat, and it kind of feels and sounds like you're fogging a mirror. The sound of but with the lips pressed together. And then commit to the same feeling on the inhale breath as well. Let it be slow and long. So that with every exhale breath, you're dropping in. Your shoulders can relax. Your body feels more present. As the practice increases the level or the movements, the breath can also follow that. Draw your shoulders onto your back, lower your chin down to your chest, and interlace your fingers at your low back. Reach your knuckles down, expand through the front of your heart, but keep your belly engaged, and very slowly tip your chin over to one shoulder and then the other. We're working through the space of the shoulders and the back today, so finding a very open front body and a very strong back body. Take your chin all the way over to your right shoulder and draw your left shoulder down your back. And then switch. And bring your chin over to your left shoulder and draw your right shoulder down your back a little bit more so you feel the stretch move up through the side of your neck. And then bring your chin back to center. You can release the interlace of your fingers, but bring them to the front. On the exhale breath, round your back. Press the heels of your hands forward and pull your belly in, chin to your chest. So this opens up the thoracic spine. Inhale, take your fingers all the way up and now look up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down, interlace your fingers at your low back, chin to your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together and press your knuckles down. Then release the interlace there, take it to the front of the chest. Exhale, round your back, press the palms of your hands forward, reach your fingers all the way up towards the sky and then gaze up. Exhale, lower your hands down, stretching out through the arms as you lower. One more time. Interlace your fingers, pull your chin down to your chest and draw your shoulders back. Then switch the interlace of your hands to the front of your chest. Exhale, round your back, press the heels of your hands forward, and then slowly stretching through the pinky fingers, take them all the way up. Lift your chin and your gaze towards the sky, lean back, and exhale, arms extend out to the sides. Okay, sounds good. Take your right hand to the right, reach your left arm overhead, press your left hip down and back. Exhale, cactus your arm, lean back. So Imagine that you're holding on to a big grapefruit in your hand as you reach. And then exhale, cactus your arm and lean back. So we open up the side, the serratus muscles along the side of the rib cage. Reach and exhale, cactus. You're also going to find a lot of strength in your tricep as you keep the hand activated. Reach and cactus, and then come all the way up. Lower your left hand down to the mat. Stretch your right arm overhead. Hold the grapefruit in your hand, cactus your arm, and lean back, look back. Feel a stretch and lengthening through the front of your shoulder. Big extension. Exhale, cactus, and lean back. Good, a few more times. Big reach. Open. Last one, huge reach. Open up and lower your hand down. Take your arms forward, straight out in front of you. Lower your forehead down to the mat and relax the back of your neck. You can massage the space of your third eye, right between your eyebrows, down to the mat by rocking your head side to side. And at the same time, press your tailbone down towards your heels so that you're creating more extension in your mid-back. Even finding a stretch down into your hips. Walk your hands back underneath of your shoulders. You can move your blanket off to the side and knees underneath of your hips. Spread your fingers wide. Pull the eyes of the elbows forward. Lift your chest and drop your belly. Exhale, round your back, curl in. Look to the space between your knees a few times. Inhale, draw your shoulders back and lift your chest. Exhale, round your spine, curling in. And inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your chest. So let's rock the hips side to side with the chest lifted. This will help you to get a little bit more extension into the outer edges of the hips as you rock side to side. Also, keep your belly pulling inwards so that as the chest is lifting, we're finding a connection near the sternum, near the center of the chest. So that's where the deepest stretch can be. Okay, in this position with your belly heavy, draw your shoulders back, eyes of the elbows forward, and now bend your elbows. There's a big arc in the spine, so butt presses back and lift your chest, look forward. Good, keep that for a second. Exhale now, round your back, so full reverse, belly in. Bend your elbows, arc your back, and look forward like an animal, like totally like a cheetah. Exhale, round your back and curl all the way in. Bend your elbows, arc your back, and look forward. Hug the inner elbows in, opening the neck and the front of your shoulders. Exhale, round your back. With your toes curled under, lift your hips to the sky and then alternate, bending one knee at a time. In this position of alternating even, bend your right knee and lower your right elbow, look left. And then switch to the other side. Bend your left knee and your elbow so that you're getting a deeper stretch in the lateral edge, the side of your body. Bring your big toes to touch, widen your knees out to the sides, but just enough that your ribs can touch your inner thighs. Press back to child's pose. Extend your arms all the way out, lower your forehead down, and breathe. For the first few breaths, let this be a very relaxing child's pose. Our yoga practice today is very specific. It's very body focused. So breath and body. The breath is the music. The breath is the rhythm, the beat, the metronome. And as the blood begins to flow, the breath can pick up its pace just a little bit. Press your hands down, spread your fingers wide. Lift your elbows, Draw your shoulders back and lengthen your chest forward. So you find that arc in your spine again. You can look up towards the front of your thumbs. And then exhale, turn your tailbone down. So you get a little bit more length underneath of the chest. Let your forehead fall. Feel that your elbows are hugging in and your shoulders are wide. For 3. A very active child's pose. 2. And 1. Press down into your knees and your hands. Come up and you can move the wrists around in tabletop pose. So just getting them warmed up. Rock forward, grip into your index fingers and thumbs, look forward, and exhale, rock back. Just twice more. Inhale. Exhale, rock back. Good, rock forward. Curl your toes under, down dog, rock back. Lift your hips up high, bring your big toes together. As the big toes come close, pop up onto your toes. Keep a bend in your knees and press your buttocks back as you pull your belly in. See if you can hollow out the center of your belly a little bit more. Hug your inner elbows. Widen your shoulders away from your ears and then shake out your head, yes and no. Create some length through the center of your spine. There it is. Inhale, plank pose, rock forward. Exhale, lower your knees, bend your elbows, come all the way down to the mat. So easy at first. Let the tops of your feet touch down. Press into your pinky toenails, hands underneath of your shoulders. Draw your shoulders back and then lift your chest up. You can come up as high as it feels good and exhale, lower back down. Here we go again. Draw your shoulders back, lift your chest up. Exhale, lower back down, slow. Shoulders back, elbows back, sides of the neck, really long, look forward. Exhale, lower back down. Let's do one more and add something. Widen your hands just a little more. Inhale, come up. And then bend at your left elbow and gaze to the right. So you look all the way over to the side, left shoulder down. Inhale, come up really high, big chest. Exhale, bend your right elbow, shoulder down, gaze off to the left. Inhale, come up super high, big heart. You can look forward or up. And exhale, lower all the way down. Reach your arms straight out in front of you. Big toes touch, forehead down, 3 breaths. Slide your hands under your shoulders, curl your toes under. You can always use your knees or lift your knees, tone your belly, point your tailbone down to your heels. Keep the belly pulled in, look down, inhale. Exhale, push up. Inhale, breath. Exhale, down dog. Reach your right leg high, inhale, bend your knees, stack your hip, point your foot. And then look to the right so you can get really juicy through the front of your right hip. Maybe lower your left elbow down to the mat. You know, I love that position. Keep reaching your right knee high so that you're in a variation. It's kind of like a little half bow shape. And then straighten your left arm again. Reach your right leg back, look forward. Exhale, step your foot up in between your hands, lower your back knee down. Front knee over top of your ankle, hands down onto the ground or blocks. Lift your chest forward. It's okay if your right knee comes forward, tone your low belly and lift your heart. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Easing in. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, straighten your leg. One more. Inhale, gaze forward. Lift your chest, maybe arms up over your head. Interlace your fingers. You can point your index finger up to the sky as you draw your right hip back and squeeze your inner thighs together. Then lift your chest and lean back a little bit more so that it feels like a strong, stable back lean, not a back bend. Exhale, release your hands down. Step back to plank pose, top of a push-up, gaze forward. Bend your elbows, lower all the way down to your belly. Tops of your feet to the mat, especially your pinky toes. Wide hands, shoulders back. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Hands under your shoulders, curl your toes. Take a big breath in, firm your legs. Exhale, push up, plank pose. Downward facing dog, next breath out. And then just pedal your hips, heels down one at a time, and hips side to side. Let's do the other side. Reach your left leg up. Bend your knees, stack your hip, point your foot. Open up your chest as you look to the left. So getting really juicy through the front of the body. A little deeper, bend at your right elbow and lower your right forearm down to the mat and keep opening your chest, gaze left. Look down, press your right arm straight, extend your left leg back behind you, look forward. Exhale, step your foot up and lower your right knee. Fingertips to the ground or the blocks, look forward, belly tight, shoulders back. Straighten your left leg, flex your foot. Inhale, bend your front knee and lift your chest. Exhale, straight leg and flex. Inhale, heart forward, draw your left hip back the whole time. And exhale, straight leg. Here it is. Bend your front knee, reach your arms up over your head, interlace your fingers, stretch up. Lean back and lift your chest. In the foundation, pull your left hip back and the front of your right hip forward. Hug your inner thighs tight. Keep the belly pulling in, so as you lean back, you stay long through your side bodies for 3, 2, and 1. Release your hands down to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Gaze forward. Inhale, breath really strong. Exhale, lower down. Slow to your belly. Tops of the feet down. Big cobra. Lift your chest. Leaning back. Shoulders back. Heart up. Exhale, lower back down. Curl your toes under. Tailbone long. Belly tight. Inhale. Exhale, push up. Another inhale, breath, and downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, so speaking of the breath, Ujjayi Pranayama starts to pick up the pace a little bit at this point in the practice, and you can move into the breath with intention. So noticing how deep and how long you need each breath to be to recover from the last postures. Our practice is a combination of activity and recovery. The depth and the length of the exhale breath are so incredibly healing. Come onto your tippy toes, look forward to your hands, wide knees, look up, exhale, step or hop, feet to the front of the mat. Lift your chest halfway up, draw your shoulders back, and exhale, fold. Here, first real forward fold. Widen your feet to about shoulders distance apart and bend your knees as much as you need to so your chest can touch your thighs. Grab opposite elbows. Relax the back of your neck and just sway your elbows side to side. See if you can feel a heavy weight lowering through the sides of your rib cage all the way down to your elbows. Hey there, everyone. And as you feel that length through the back of your rib cage, just breathe. Then release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, heel toe, your feet together, lift your chest halfway. You can put a little tiny bend in your knees and drag your chest forward so that you feel this this pulling together at the base of the shoulder blades. Okay, then bend your knees even more. Take your arms straight out in front of you. So you should feel that the shoulder blades are seated on the back. The front of the chest is really long, belly pulled in. Then take your arms up over your head. Palms of your hands face in towards one another. Activate the fingers like you're holding on to a big beach ball and sit back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Huge breath in. Left elbow to right thigh. Press your palms together. Draw your shoulders onto your back and open up your chest. And take another inhale. On the exhale, come out of the pose. Back up. Inhale to reset. Exhale, hands to heart center. Twist to the other side. Right elbow to outer left thigh. Press your palms and twist through your mid-back. And belly tight. Inhale, come back to center this time. Fold forward on the exhale breath and let it go. Thinking forehead all the way down towards your shin bones. You can grab the backs of your ankles, wrap your forearms behind your calf muscles, and fold deep. And then release your hands down, lift your chest halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank pose and tone your belly. In plank pose, drag the eyes of the elbows forward, shoulders back. Hold plank, lengthen your gaze forward, press your heels back. Okay, you got it. Take another big breath in. And exhale, rock forward and lower all the way down. Okay, tops of the feet to the mat, come onto your forearms. So we're changing things up just a bit. Take your left forearm parallel to the front of your mat with your elbow underneath of your shoulder. Right hand out to the side on fingertips. Lift your chest. Bend your right knee. Reach back with your right hand. Grab the inside of your foot and pull your heel towards your buttocks. So this really gets into the front of the chest, but here's what you don't want to do. Don't dump into your left shoulder. So you see that? Lift up and out of your left shoulder. Your right hand, holding onto your toes, can spiral around so that as you hold onto your toes, your heels can come to your butt and now look forward. This is a deep way to get into your neck, the front of your shoulder, your inner bicep, and of course, the front of your left thigh. Press your left hip down and lift the front of press your right hip down and lift the front of your right knee just a little bit higher. There you go. So that takes you even more into the inner side of the quadriceps. So good. And then exhale, slowly release. Take your arms straight out in front of you, forehead down, big toes touch, soften everything, but 3 breaths. Elbows underneath of your shoulders. Lift your chest and gaze forward. Same thing other side. Bring your right forearm parallel to the front of your mat and lift up and out of your shoulder. Bend your left knee. Reach back and grab the big toe side of your foot. Pull your heel towards your buttocks. You can spiral your fingers around the front of your toes so that your left elbow points up. Heel towards your butt, or just here is good too, right? Elbow out to the side. Heel towards your butt, look forward and lift your chest. Press the front of your left hip down. That intensifies the pose ×3. Lift the front of your left knee a little bit higher and that intensifies it ×10. Draw your shoulders back, chest forward for 3. You got it. 2. Staying long through the front of your body. and release your foot all the way down. Take your arms straight out in front of you. Forehead down to the mat, big toes touch, 3 breaths. Relaxing. Hands underneath of your shoulders, curl your toes under, lift your knees, lengthen your tailbone down. It's harder to do this than to do the opposite of a lower down slowly. So breathe in, exhale, push up, full push up, inhale, breath, downward facing dog, exhale. And now you should feel a little bit more strength in your low back. Bend your knees, press your buttocks up. Hang your head. You can shake out your head, yes and no, and that will help to trickle the length down your spine. Then big toes close, wide knees, look forward, inhale. Exhale, hop, feet to hands, lift your chest halfway up, fold deeply, forehead to shins. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, and exhale, hands to heart center, Take your weight into your left foot so you're feeling strong and stable. Bring your right arm out to the side. You can put a little bend in your left knee just to soften the knee and get you into the strength of the muscles. Bend your right knee, reach back, grab the big toe side of your foot. Same idea. Press the front of your right hip forward and squeeze your knees in the direction of one another. Press the front of your right knee down, left arm straight out in front of you, shoulders onto your back. And as we move towards dancer pose or Natarajasana, draw your shoulder back and now kick your foot into your hand. And just kicking, opening up the front of the shoulder. There's an opposition. Bring the front of your right shoulder forward as you kick your right foot back. So you're working 2 for 1. Then keep leaning forward, keep going, kick your toes higher, higher, chest up, but the front of the right hip drops down this time for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up, release your foot, hands to your heart center. You can put a little bend into your knees to relax your low back, switch sides. Standing on your right foot, bend your left heel back to your low back. Grab the inside of your foot with your left hand and take your right arm straight out in front of you. Set up the leg first, heel to butt. Front of the left knee points down. Heel to butt, front of the left hip points forward. Right shoulder draws back. Flare your toes so that your toes become like a little hook for the hand. And now kick, foot into hand. You activate the front of your thighs all the way up to the front of your rib cage and your chest. Keep kicking the foot into your hand. Hug the knees towards the midline. So you don't want your knee to splay out, rather point it down. Front of your left hip pointed down, and now reach and kick. Opening through the chest. Come back to center, hands to heart, and bend your knees. You should feel an incredible stretch through your inner bicep all the way up through the front of your chest and your neck when you do that shape. We're not going into the deepest variation today. We're trying to find the most extended variation through the front of your body. Take your arms up, inhale, breath. Interlace your fingers, reach tall. Big toes touch, tailbone down, belly in. Take an inhale, breath. Lean to the right side, super strong. Press your hips to the left as you lean right. Inhale, come back to center, switch. Reach to the left side. Press your hips to the right as you lean to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Chin towards your chest. Open up your chest as you point your tailbone down. This is not about the back. This is about the front. So tailbone is down, protecting the low back, opening here. ribs, chest, under armpits. Exhale, bend your knees, chest to your thighs, fold forward, forehead to shins for 3, 2, and 1. Lift your chest halfway up. Step your left foot back into a deep lunge. Bend your right knee. Keep your left leg activated so you stay up on your tippy toes. Draw your right hip back, airplane your arms back behind you. Tone your belly, really nice and tight. Then, left arm up, right hand to the back of your left thigh. It's called Exalted Warrior. Bend your front knee deeper and lift your chest. Leaning back. This is a great pose to seal in all of the alignment work that we're doing. Right hip back, left hip forward, left side long. Warrior 2 pose, inhale. Exhale, sink into it. Okay, so that's a nice release as you switch in those 2 poses. Bend your right knee deep, flip your palm, reverse your warrior and arc back. This is a side bend, not a back bend. Extended side angle. Take your right hand to the inside of your ankle. Open your left hand straight up to the sky, look up. Squeeze your heels deeply towards one another. Half bind your left hand behind you to the front of your right hip crease, opening through your chest. Look down, see your right big toe. Inhale, reach your right arm forward and back up again with the bind of the left hand. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, just rock your hips side to side. We're really starting to add a lot of postures now. Where we started slow, now it feels like the body's pretty ready. Lift your left leg high, inhale, breath. Exhale, step forward between your hands, deep lunge. Okay, stay on your right tippy toes. Activate the arch of your foot and pull your left hip back. Airplane your arms out to the sides so that you feel really strong and steady in your midsection. Puff the back of your ribs. Reach your right arm up. Left hand to the back of your right thigh, and then bend your left knee deep as you sink in. Here, you can press your right heel back to create more length at the front of your right body. Left arm leads, inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Draw your shoulders onto your back. On Monday, we worked on warrior 2 a lot. External rotation of the knees. Gather the base of your pelvic floor in and zip your belly up. Left hand to the front of your ankle. Reach. Your right hand to the sky. Feel your left buttocks turn underneath of you. Okay, half bind. Take your right hand behind you, grab the front of your left thigh, bend your knee a little bit deeper and draw your shoulder back, open the side of your neck. Keep squeezing the heels in, reach your left arm forward, and now reverse your warrior with the arm bind. Exhale, lower your hands down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog pose, and rock your hips side to side. Bring your big toes together, wide knee, child's pose, pretty wide, wider than the first. Press your hips back, and that will loosen up your thighs. Extend your arms forward, and now think about chest to the mat. Reach the fingers forward, gaze towards your thumbs, chest to the mat, chin to the mat. And now exhale, turn your tailbone down and drag your hands back one at a time. Tabletop pose, inhale, come up. Knees tight, downward facing dog. Exhale, lift your hips. Reach your right leg high, inhale, breath. Step your right foot forward between your hands and turn. Wide leg forward fold. We've been doing this pose a lot lately, because it just feels so good. With your hands under your shoulders, lift your chest forward. Okay, the tendency is to go into a back arc here. Rather, pull your belly in and press your butt back. Keep your butt moving back as you walk your arms forward, and then hang your ears in line with your biceps. And see if you can get a big stretch through your mid-back. And keep your belly pulling in. Okay, both hands over to your right ankle. Left hand first, and then right hand on top. And now fold to the middle. As you fold to the middle, you can even look to the middle of your mat and then hold here. The stretch is for the front underside of your shoulder blade. Okay, make this a little deeper. Bend your left knee. Hold on with both hands, bend your left knee, and now look to the left for 3. There you go. Keep pulling through the arms. 2 and 1. Straighten your legs, hands underneath of you, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold forward again. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Reach your knuckles up to the sky and exhale overhead. Strong legs. Even your thighs, especially your thighs. And then release your hands down. Inhale, halfway up. So you can kind of reset your body. Pull your belly in, draw your shoulders back, even clear the sinuses in this posture. Okay, both hands to the left ankle. Right hand first, left hand on top, and now hang to the middle. So your right arm will be super straight. As you hang straight down to the middle, you can kind of move the hips a little. Take your right hip further towards the right. And feeling the stretch as it moves underneath of the shoulder blade, back of the shoulder, and then deeper. Bend your right knee. Yeah, so there it really is happening. And as you bend your right knee, just breathe. You can come in and out of it. Every exhale, breathe or move a little bit deeper. Loosening up your back. Okay, release your hands down to the middle and underneath of your shoulders. Lift your chest up halfway. Turn your heels in, toes point out, bend your knees. Walk your hands up to your knees. You can have fingers pointed out, but this time shrug your shoulders up to your ears and rock side to side. So just rocking side to side, we get into the inner thighs, the inner calf muscles, and all the way up through the inner arches of the feet. Have the shoulders shrugged at your ears so that you can access your mid-back. Drop your right shoulder down, deep, look left. Inhale, come back to center. Drop your left shoulder down and deep and look right. So rinsing out the thoracic spine. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Draw your tailbone down and now push your shoulders down away from your ears. Hug your inner heels together. So zip them up and then pull your belly in, pelvis up. Hands to heart center. Just be in the inner thighs for a second. Inhale, keep lifting up straight legs, widen your heels, fold forward on your exhale. Take your hands underneath of you, so heels of the hands down, in line with the heels of the feet. Bend your elbows and hug them towards one another. Hugging the elbows towards one another will release the back of your middle back, the back of your thoracic spine. Then pull your chest underneath of you towards the legs. Lift your buttocks a little higher. Come onto your fingertips and lift. Halfway up. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Bend your right knee deep. Lower your left knee down. Take your right foot over to the right. Left hand to the left. Fingers point left. Widen your right knee. Twist to the right. Lift your chest. With your right hand, press your inner knee away. A little deeper. Reach your right hand back and bend your left knee. Capture the outer edge of your foot. Okay, we're going to add the thigh here. Round forward. Pull your heel to your butt. Inhale, flex your foot. Open your chest and twist. Lean back. Exhale, round forward. Heel to butt. Go all the way down. Forehead down. Inhale, flex your foot. Open up and twist. Lean back. One more. Exhale, round. You can point the foot, curl. Inhale, flex your foot, open all the way up into a big back bend. Release your right hand down to the middle. Heel toe your right foot in between your hands. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, straighten your leg. Take your right hand off to the right side of your mat. Left hand over. Grab the pinky edge of your foot. Look forward. Draw your right hip back. Exhale, bend your left elbow and fold. 2 more breaths. Bend your front knee, inhale, chest up, look to the front. So that should feel really released or open now. Downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, rock your hips side to side. I hope that set feels pretty good. Lift your left leg up, please. Step your left foot to the pinky edge of your right hand so we can go straight into it. Lower your right knee down, turn your right hand, point it to the right. Left hand to the inside of your left knee, press it away. Flex your left foot so that you bypass the knee and you get into the hip. Okay, shoulders on your back. Reach your left arm up, stretch back. Bend your right knee, capture the pinky edge of your foot right into the quadriceps. Exhale, round, fold forward, heel to butt. On the inhale, flare your toes and let the press of your toes open up your chest into a twist. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, press back. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, press back. Exhale, curl in. You got it. Inhale, press back. Just moving, blood flow. Release your hand down. Heel toe your left foot to the middle. Straighten your leg, flex your foot. Take your left hand off to the left side, please. Right hand, grab the outer edge of your foot. Look up. Draw your left hip back. There's the beginning of the pose. But now bend your right elbow and fold. Feeling and noticing where the pace of your Ujjayi breath is now. You got it. Bend your front knee, look up to the front. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Okay, If you've been doing this practice the whole time with me, you should feel pretty open and balanced. Come forward to plank pose. Press your heels back, shoulders onto your back. Look forward, bend your elbows, and come all the way down. So we're back in this belly down position, and we kind of keep coming back here to stay really safe, and then also to reset or to find that new alignment again. Sphinx position, elbows underneath of your shoulders. Draw your shoulders back, press the tops of your feet down, and now pull your chest forward. Think of opening up space at your middle and your low back, or let's say better, the top of your low back. With the legs heavy and stable, you should not feel compression, just length the entire time. Okay. Lower down and widen your elbows. Forehead in between your fingers, fingers like a diamond for 3. Relaxing your shoulders. Okay, stay like this with the arms. Keep your arms like this, but bend your knees. Tick-tock, or windshield wiper, your feet from side to side. And let them get really loosey-goosey so that when you're doing this movement, you can feel a vibration or a way of radiating up the center of the spine. Nice twists, good efforts. Okay, so that will help you to bring some mobility to the tendons and ligaments throughout the low body, the whole low body, even down into the feet. All right, knees tight. Now, not totally tight, but pretty close, so just in line with the hip bone is really good enough. Bend at your right knee and lift your chest. Okay, so we just come up halfway again, back into Sphinx pose. Open through your heart, and now point your right foot. Stay with me. Press the front of your left hip down, and then try to lift your right knee. It's not really going to lift that high, so just a little bit. So we're activating the thigh into the low back, into the glute muscles, and it's so subtle, but this will help you to find the correct direction of your tailbone in the full pose. And then relax your leg, okay? Curl your right toes under, bend your left knee, point your foot, and now it's kind of counterintuitive. The body wants to press the front of the left hip down, but don't. Press the front of your right hip down to lift your left knee higher. Okay, so that will help to bring balance to the front of the hips. And now you're more into the glutes, the high glute muscles. Lift your chest, point your foot. Doesn't look like a lot, but man, it burns. And then release your foot down to the mat, okay? So now chest nice and open. With your chest open, airplane your arms out to the side. Bring your big toes together and your heels together. You can reset your thighs. Draw your shoulders onto your back and lift your arms. Gaze down, keep the back of the neck long and strong. A little deeper, lift your feet. In this position, we squeeze the heels together so that you find a long line up through the inner thighs. For 3, 2, and 1. Arms forward, big toes touch. Separate your heels. Forehead down, 3 breaths. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know we had a ringer on our phone. Bend your knees, reach back. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Hold on to the pinky toe side of your feet, and now
before you do anything, push your forehead down. Then turn your knees down and lift your butt. You can look here, it looks totally weird. Find length in your low back, that back arc. And before we do anything else, we reverse the back arc. Gather the muscles of your tailbone and now point your tailbone down towards the mat. What you should feel is your pelvis flattened out across the mat. Head stays down the whole time. Lift your knees. Then lift your chest. Squeeze your knees together and kick your feet back for 3, 2, this is strong, and 1. Lower down, everything down, arms out in front of you, big toes touch. We're not going into the deepest variation, we're going into the longest variation for the front of the body and the safest variation for the tailbone. Just one more time. So if you watched that time, do it this time. Forehead stays down. Bend your knees. Reach back and grab onto the tops of your feet. Lift your butt up. So there's this big space now under the front of the hips. Try and find that at first. Draw your shoulders onto your back. On your exhale breath, press your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Boom, there. The pelvis flattened out. Flare your toes and now lift your knees. Then lift your chest. Then keep kicking your feet back. And now engage your belly and come up a little higher. Squeeze the knees. Exhale, lower down. Release your feet. Arms straight out in front of you, big toes touch, relax everything. Forehead down, 3 breaths. Hands under your shoulders. Tabletop pose, come up. Widen your knees. Just enough that the ribs can touch your inner thighs and press back to child's pose with sphinx arms. Elbows underneath of your shoulders. Now curl. Turn your tailbone down. Forehead towards the mat. Curl in. Inhale. Lift your chest forward. Cat-cow movements. Exhale. Round your back. Pull your belly in. Inhale, lift your chest forward. Good job releasing your low back. Exhale, round. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, come up. Hey, good job, yogis. We've been doing so much work on the back. Let's flip it all the way over. You will need one of your blocks. Lay down on your back. With your knees bent, place your feet onto the mat and then block at the lowest level. So let's make this restorative. Lift your hips. Place your block underneath of your sacrum. Turn your arms out to the sides, chest up. And now get really heavy. Back heavy. Middle ribs heavy. Everything against the block. I mentioned earlier that we're trying to find a place of recovery or a place of restoration in the body. So we do all of these deep actions, strength, alignment, flexibility, and then we can recover. And it's really in that space of recovery that change starts to happen. Okay, keep your left side tailbone heavy and pull your right knee into your chest. Hug it in. Left anchor. And then switch. Right foot down. Right hip is the anchor. Hug your left knee towards your chest. So we get a nice twist or spiral at the base of the pelvis. And then release your foot down. With your block underneath of your back, low back heavy, extend both of your legs straight up to the sky. And then notice your toes. So you may be here in this position with the toes kind of reaching towards the face. Stack them over top of the hips and then soften your ankles. Soften your calf muscles. Expand your chest a little bit more. And let your legs be heavy and really, really soft. It feels like the femur bones are anchoring back into the pelvis. Blood flow changes. This is technically an inversion, so it's so good and energizing for your heart. Okay, keep the knees where they are. Bend your knees. You can shake out your lower legs. You should feel a sense of coolness in the feet. And then release your feet down. Lift your hips. Move the block off to the side and lower your back down. Bring your knees to your armpits. Keep your tailbone pressing down onto the mat. And let's move the knees in a circle to the right, forward, and left. To the left, forward, and right. And just alternate sides, massaging the top, the sides, and the bottom of the sacrum. Since we did so much back work today, here's how we'll finish practice. Feet to the mat. Grab both of your blocks. Place the blocks at the highest level behind the knees. By doing this, the thigh bones anchor into the pelvis can flatten out. You can let your feet relax. Take a blanket, put it right over the front of your hips. Place your hands onto the front of your hips and draw your shoulders down your back. Let your feet relax. And take a few exhale breaths through your mouth. By exhaling through the mouth, we're starting to promote relaxation all throughout the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, or rest and recover. And then take your arms out to the side, let your palms face up. And you can stay in this position for as long as you need to.